Let's say, hypothetically, you wanted to make conversation with someone that likes watching shonen anime. You could try asking them this question. When in insert series name here did you realize it was going to become one of your favorite shows? For instance, in Naruto, for me it was a scene where Naruto and Sasuke worked together to free Kakashi from the water prison. Or in Hunter x Hunter, it was the Gon vs Hisoka fight. Or in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, it was... Never mind, this isn't fun anymore. Seeing as Dragon Ball is one of my favorite series ever, when did that happen for me? Surprisingly enough, it was in this arc, just over 50 episodes into the series. That's not to say I didn't enjoy the previous arcs. I've already spoken at length about what I enjoy about those. But something about the perfect balance of action and adventure in this arc really caught my attention during my initial viewing. And from here, the series would only continue to improve. I mentioned in my last video the formation of a 3-act structure. This arc, commonly referred to as the General Blue arc, serves as the continuation to that second act. The ending of the second act doesn't coincide with the ending of this arc though. To see that, we have to look ahead to the next arc. Again though, I'll elaborate on that more in the next video. For now, let's take a look at how Akira Toriyama continued to improve his writing of the action-adventure genre in the General Blue arc. The General Blue arc takes place between episodes 43 and 57 in the anime, and chapters 68 to 83 in the manga. The anime makes quite a few changes to this arc, and with the exception of episode 45, which is entirely filler, almost all the changes were for the better. Without episode 45 though, we would have never gotten this.
Tama. そうだわ。あなたはその服の中に2つの玉を持ってるんじゃありませんか？え？すげえ！なんでわかるんだ？
I don't know if it's just me, because I couldn't find anything to back this, but the animation definitely seems to have improved from the last arc as well. It's tough for me to say for sure because I'm no expert, but action scenes like Goku and Krillin versus the pirate robot and Goku versus Blue look way better than anything else in the series so far. I should probably discuss the actual plot before I get to that stuff though. After leaving Jingle Village, Goku arrives in Metro West. This section is a lot longer in the anime, and it's definitely better for it. Goku wants to find Bulma so that she can fix the dragon radar, but he doesn't even know where she lives. So he starts to ask around.
ねえ、ブルマンチってどこ？え？ブルマ？うん。知らないわね。他の人に聞いてごらんなさい。同じとこに住んでて知らないの？
This section of the story is hilarious, and it makes sense Goku would be lost, considering Goku's only experience of living in a community was when he was training with Roshi. A lot of stuff happens from this point, but eventually Goku finds a police officer who helps him find Bulma's house. It's here that we're finally told that Bulma is the daughter of the head of Capsule Corporation. And for anyone that watched Z, this isn't exactly a revelation. But if you started watching this series from the beginning like I did, this was really surprising. This would also end up being extremely relevant throughout the rest of the series. While Goku's waiting outside her house, Bulma shows up and lets him in. This is also where we're introduced to Dr. Briefs and Bulma's mom. Bulma fixes the dragon radar, but after realizing that Goku's only found 2 Dragon Balls so far, she offers to help him. Goku points out she'll only be in the way, especially since she can't ride on Kinta-un. She then reveals that she's invented a bracelet that can shrink her on command. Not only is this incredibly convenient, it will also never be seen again. With how much people love to say Toriyama forgot about things, I'm surprised this doesn't come up more often. I'm sure it would have been useful at some point. Another reason why Bulma wants to help Goku is because she's currently having a fight with Yamcha since he's too popular with girls. And with that, Bulma joins Goku on his quest for his grandfather's Dragon Ball. Although, Goku never did tell her that they aren't the only ones looking for the Dragon Balls.
本部からはい例の小僧がこちらに向かっているらしいです何例のこのブルー将軍のところへね
It turns out that Goku and Bulma are headed towards the Dragon Ball General Blue's in charge of retrieving. It's obvious as soon as he's introduced that General Blue is a lot more formidable than Silver or White. He doesn't play off Goku defeating Silver and White as a fluke, but he's still confident that he'll defeat him. Goku and Bulma soon arrive at the site of the Dragon Ball and realize it's at the bottom of the ocean. They land on a nearby island so that Bulma can use a submarine capsule. Turns out she accidentally grabbed her dad's capsules though, which are less than useful. After saving Bulma from some Red Ribbon soldiers though, Goku realizes that Roshi doesn't live too far from here, and that they could ask to borrow his submarine. Roshi agrees to lend them the submarine, so long as Bulma gives him her miniaturizing bracelet. They still need to wait for Krillin and Launch to come back with the submarine though, since they took it to go to the market. While Goku and Bulma are there, Commander Red orders General Blue to scout out where Goku is, since they think it might be his home base. Eventually, Krillin comes back and decides to join Goku in finding the Dragon Ball. He also tells Goku that around the same area where the Dragon Ball is, there's rumored to be a secret pirate base with tons of hidden treasure. With that, Bulma, Goku, and Krillin head out to find the Dragon Ball. Bulma ends up leaving the Dragon Balls at Kame House though, but since Roshi's there to protect them, they aren't too worried. As they're leaving though, a Red Ribbon scout sees them and finds Kame House. They think Roshi may be the professor that built Goku's Dragon Radar, so they plan to capture him and force him to make a more accurate radar for them too. Meanwhile, Goku, Bulma, and Krillin find an underwater cave that may lead to the Dragon Ball. General Blue splits his forces up into 2 squads. He'll command Team A and follow Goku to the Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, this guy will command Team B, whose objective is to capture the brilliant professor that is Muten Roshi. The anime has a montage here of the Red Ribbon Army mobilizing, and it really helps set the tone for what's to come. While previous arcs had changes between the manga and the anime, I didn't vastly prefer one iteration over the other. This arc is so much better in the anime though. While I don't think every single change made is a positive, this montage and the extended action sequences all throughout really help in establishing a slightly more serious tone. While the show is still mostly lighthearted, it's clear that there's been a shift to the action-adventure genre, rather than adventure comedy. This tonal shift would only continue to increase as the show goes on, and since the anime had time to see where the series would go from here, they took advantage of that to set the tone early. Back to the plot though. After being shot at by a massive Red Ribbon sub, Krillin and Bulma finally discover that the Red Ribbon Army is after Goku. Their reactions really show us how powerful this army actually is. Up to this point, they've mostly been a punching bag for Goku, but this is our first hint that they may actually be way more terrifying than we anticipated. Meanwhile, at Kame House, the Red Ribbon Army arrives and starts threatening Roshi and launch.
逆らうとどうするんじゃ?
もちろん死んでもらう。
じゃ、逆らっちゃおうかな。
なんだと?
While Roshi takes out everyone on the island, Goku, Bulma, and Krillin find a part of the cave that has air and ditch the sub. General Blue starts chasing them, but is then told about how B-Team was completely wiped out. Goku realizes there's no reason for him to run since he can easily take out the soldiers, but as he turns to fight them, General Blue pulls back his troops. Goku, Krillin, and Bulma decide to go forward in the dark cave, but suddenly, Goku finds a button that turns the lights on. And it's genuinely insane that Goku's first ever encounter with a light switch is in an underwater cave that used to be inhabited by pirates. Also, I'm just thinking of this now, but how did the Dragon Ball end up in an underwater pirate base that's been abandoned for centuries? There never is an attempt to try and explain this, but it makes for a solid story arc, so I guess I'm not complaining. While Krillin and Bulma are talking about the potential treasure that could be here, a Red Ribbon Army soldier overhears them and reports to General Blue. Blue decides to follow them to the treasure and bring it and the Dragon Ball to Commander Red. Goku, Bulma, and Krillin then come across a spike trap. Goku and Krillin jump across, and then Goku extends Nyoibo to carry Bulma. Blue then realizes that if the kids had a brilliant professor on their side, he probably made super weapons for them, and that would explain how they defeated all his men. But since they're now running away, they probably left their weapons in their sub, so he orders his men to charge at them since they're probably defenseless now.
これでドラゴンボールと宝は私たちがいただき。
Blue's entire squad is immediately killed by the spike trap. He does end up finding a way around though, in order to continue following Goku, Bulma, and Krillin. I also love how one of the soldiers comes back to life just to let him know they're all dead. That's something that the Dragon Ball series would continue to do well throughout its run, and that's making incredibly dark situations funny. This might seem pointless, but by doing this, Toriyama allows himself to tell serious stories while also keeping a light tone. This is one of the main reasons why Dragon Ball has the longevity it does. It appeals to children and adults, and the people who watched it as children go on to introduce it to their own. This is a minor example of this concept, but it will become more prevalent as the series goes on. Finally, Goku, Krillin, and Bulma find the pirate base, but they're suddenly attacked by a pirate robot. And in the anime, this fight is incredible, especially considering the time at which it came out. It starts with Goku and Krillin 2v1ing the robot, which is animated well. 2v1s are also really rare in the Dragon Ball series, so it's nice to see. Eventually, even Bulma gets involved, running the robot over with a truck and knocking it into the water. The anime also adds a chase sequence in the building, and shows a whole security system was set up in there by the pirates. Also, instead of Goku randomly deciding to go on top of the building, he first saves Krillin and Bulma, and then hides to the top of the building so he can get a clean hit on the robot. It's at this point that Goku tells Krillin and Bulma to go on ahead and find the Dragon Ball. Goku then goes for the final hit by jumping off the roof and diving into the robot. The anime really nails this scene as well. It of course has the benefit of music and sound effects, but also the variety of shots and initial impact of the hit help the attack feel powerful. And it should, because this attack ends up causing the robot to explode, which makes the cave around them begin to collapse. Krillin tries to leave marks on the ground for Goku to follow, but General Blue erases them and points Goku in the wrong direction. This causes Goku to fall into a trapdoor where he is attacked by a giant octopus. Goku does go on to easily defeat the octopus with a Kamehameha though. Meanwhile, Krillin and Bulma find the treasure, but Blue jumps out to stop them and take it for himself. Krillin puts up a decent fight, until Blue uses his psychic powers to paralyze him. And now that Krillin's defenseless, Blue's free to kill them both and take the treasure.
Goku!
いってらっしゃい。
Nowadays, the main character swooping in at last second to save everyone is a common shonen trope, and a lot of the credit for that should go to Dragon Ball for popularizing it. While this particular save isn't anything too special, Goku would go on to do this kind of thing over and over again, and it just gets cooler every time. For now though, Goku still needs to beat General Blue before the cave around them collapses, and the animation for this fight is incredible. While short, there hasn't been any scene so far that has felt this dynamic and full of energy. The original run of Dragon Ball is genuinely still so impressive to me, and the art and animation quality will only continue to improve as the series goes on. Goku seems to defeat Blue fairly easily. That is until Blue uses his psychic powers though. Blue paralyzes Goku and threatens him with a shotgun. He forces Bulma to give him the location of the Dragon Ball, which she does. Before Blue finishes them off though, he's scared by a mouse and releases his paralysis on Goku, and before he can use his powers again, Goku defeats him. Now though, the cave's really starting to collapse. With everything going on in this arc, it can be easy to forget why Goku's here. As with any story though, understanding the character's motivation is essential to fully appreciating the narrative. We know Bulma is here because she wanted to get out of the house, and Krillin is here because he wants to find pirate treasure. But why is Goku here? You might be thinking, well, to find his grandfather's Dragon Ball, of course. And that's true, but that sentence, as with the ones I used to describe Bulma and Krillin, actually don't describe those characters' motivations. It describes their goals. The character's motivation would instead be described as boredom and maybe some anger for Bulma, and Krillin's motivation would be his desire to have fun. It may seem like a pointless distinction to make, but in Goku's case, it's actually essential to understanding his character. So now that we know what Goku wants, we need to ask the question, why does he want it? To find his motivation. Why does he want to find his grandfather's Dragon Ball? We don't know much about Goku's relationship with his grandfather Gohan. We know that Gohan trained him, and they lived together in the mountains, but that doesn't give us insight into their relationship. The way we get that information is by looking at how Goku reacts when Gohan is mentioned. When Gyumao brought up Gohan, Goku got excited. And when Goku heard that Gohan did the same training as him a long time ago, he was motivated to work even harder. Clearly, Goku loved his grandpa, and that's the point. He wants to find his grandfather's Dragon Ball because he misses him, and it's all he has left. I know this is a simple concept, but understanding it is essential to the 3-act structure I've mentioned repeatedly, and to understanding the depth behind the actions like Goku risking his life for the Dragon Balls. When you know the emotion behind why Goku does what he does at this point in the series, a weight is added to every interaction. While Goku is this super powerful kid that can do incredible things, his motivation being such a sad, personal thing makes him much more down to earth. What good is a motivation without a resolution though? Unfortunately, we'll have to wait for the next part for the resolution. For now though, Goku still needs to escape this cave. He grabs the Dragon Ball and the mouse he owes his life to and runs to the sub. Meanwhile, Krillin and Bulma get blocked off from their old sub and have to take one that the pirates left. It doesn't seem that Goku is going to make it there in time, but just before Bulma lowers the sub, Goku shows up and hops in. As they're escaping though, the sub runs out of power. They're now stranded on the seafloor, but Goku has one last trick up his sleeve. Goku uses a Kamehameha to propel them up to the surface and catches them with Kinta-Un. This is easily his most impressive feat yet, and the Dragon Ball power scaling community is in shambles, but I don't care, this is super cool. As it turns out though, the Dragon Ball still isn't the 4-star ball, so Goku's quest continues. Bulma decides not to go with him though, saying she'll never help him again, and we'll see how long that lasts. She also snuck out a diamond so that they wouldn't go home completely empty-handed. She decides to give the diamond to Krillin so she can pay them back for the sub, and also because she doesn't need it anyway since she's already rich. As they fly back to Kame House though, we learn that somehow General Blue survived, and he follows them back to their base. Almost as soon as Goku, Bulma, and Krillin arrive, Launch steals the diamond and leaves. Blue then uses a psychic rope technique to bind everyone and steal the Dragon Balls. We do learn something interesting here though. Blue doesn't know what Commander Red is going to wish for. Up to this point, we've assumed world domination, but no one in the Red Ribbon Army has actually said that. We just heard that from Suno's mom. Anyway, Blue then leaves a bomb with a 5-minute timer and flies away. Just before the bomb blows up though, Launch comes back. She cuts Goku free and he just barely throws the bomb away in time. Immediately, he starts chasing Blue to retrieve the 3 Dragon Balls. After fighting in the air, he ends up following him to Penguin Village, the location of Akira Toriyama's previous hit manga, Dr. Slump. They both end up crashing, leaving Blue stranded here. I can imagine that for fans of Dr. Slump, this must have been amazing. Seeing characters that you hadn't seen in years at that point and having them be relevant to the plot. Unfortunately though, I've never watched or read Dr. Slump. I mean, I watched the first episode and it seemed cool, but never got around to watching the whole series, so I can't really comment on anything happening here. This section is extended a lot in the anime, and it's genuinely pretty funny. Goku realizes that he can use the Dragon Radar to track Blue, but it must have broke again at some point. Arale tells Goku to visit the doctor since he'll probably be able to fix it, and I'm pretty sure this doctor is the one who built Arale, so that's cool. Around that same time, Blue threatens a Superman cosplayer into telling him where he can find a plane. Apparently the doctor is one of those, so Blue heads to his house. The doctor can't fix the radar, but this flying baby named Turbo can somehow. Goku uses the radar and it shows that Blue is about 10 feet in front of him. Blue paralyzes Goku and steals his radar, but instead of just leaving now, he decides to kill Goku first. At last second, the doctor tells Arale to save Goku and she does, sending Blue flying like a Team Rocket member. Goku was able to recover the Dragon Balls, but Blue had his radar in his pocket. Fortunately, the flying baby memorized how to make it and makes him another one. Goku also promises to get even stronger after seeing how easily Arale beat Blue. Blue's also now stranded in the desert, but he does have the radar, which will make tracking down future Dragon Balls, and Goku, way easier. That doesn't mean Goku's quest is over though. As always, he hops back on Kintoon and heads towards the next Dragon Ball.
3個のドラゴンボールを取り戻しペンギン村を後にした悟空じいちゃんの通信地を求めて旅はさらに続く
I'm sure manga readers at the time really enjoyed the Dr. Slump references in this arc. I can only imagine what it must have been like to keep up with Toriyama's works. Likely feeling sad about Dr. Slump ending and being excited about Toriyama's newest series. Slowly becoming more attached to this new series until eventually you may even like it more than Dr. Slump. Being in that situation would make what's about to happen all the more shocking. Readers at the time had no idea what they were in for with the final arc in the Red Ribbon Army Saga, the events of which would change the Dragon Ball series forever. So join me next time as I take a look at the final part of the longest saga in original Dragon Ball, the Commander Red arc.